Tucker Carlson says there's not enough fraud to change election results, we should be honest. Thing is, no Democrat disagrees with him. Asterisk, every legitimate claim of fraud should be investigated. Asterisk. And will be. When Trump actually produces evidence for one. Asterisk, Carlson spoke of all the questions being answered before he would accept the election result. Asterisk. So, he hasn't accepted the results. Murdoch is really cracking the whip if even Carlson is admitting it. Fraud. Appointing a postmaster general to deliberately slow the delivery of absentee ballots is election fraud. Demanding that the counting of ballots be stopped on election night is election fraud. Deliberately undermining confidence in our democratic system is election fraud. Voter suppression is election fraud. Refusing to strengthen the security of our system against cyber attack was attempted election fraud. Openly inviting the Russians to interfere in 2016 was deliberate election fraud. Extreme gerrymandering is election fraud. We haven't committed fraud, but the GOP has been cheating for generations, so can the hypocrisy. That headline sounds fine, but the bigger point he's making is still complete horseshit. But changing the election results is not the whole point. The real point is that fraud took place, and that should horrify us. If you want people to believe that our system is real, that our system is worth, say, joining the military and dying to protect, then you've got to get to the bottom of what just happened, and you've got to do it as quickly and responsibly as you can. You can't have fraud in an election, because then no one will believe in elections and then things fall apart. There is no evidence any fraud of significance has occurred. Any suggestion otherwise, without actual evidence, is a fucking attack on American democracy. Tucker Carlson is feigning a nuanced position to attack democracy, because he's a fucking loser. If you read the article, it's clear Carlson is, rightfully, realizing that this method of trying to undermine the election results is only going to work to dampen Republicans' trust in the election, thus lowering the number of Republicans that will vote. Fox News seems to realize that peddling this false narrative of the election being something you inherently cannot trust will just shoot Republicans in the foot. So now they're scrambling to spin this message in such a way that will not result in this. Unfortunately for them, they created a monster with Trump and his bootlickers. A large majority of Republicans are going to listen and trust Trump. I fully expect this to negatively affect Republicans' voting counts going forward. Tucker Carlson says we should be honest. Fox lawyers defending Carlson ask why start now. https://www.npr.org/2020/09/29/917747123/ You literally can't believe the facts Tucker Carlson tells you, so say Fox's lawyer. https://www.npr.org/2020/09/29/917747123/ You literally can't believe the facts Tucker Carlson tells you, so say Fox's lawyer. You literally can't believe the facts Tucker Carlson tells you. So say Fox's lawyers. Now comes the claim that you can't expect to literally believe the words that come out of Carlson's mouth. And that assertion is not coming from Carlson's critics. It's being made by a federal judge in the Southern District of New York and by Fox News' own lawyers in defending Carlson against accusations of slander. Just read U.S. District Judge Mary K. Escochille's opinion, leaning heavily on the arguments of Fox's lawyers. The general tenor of the show should then inform a viewer that /Carlson/ is not stating actual facts about the topics he discusses and is instead engaging in exaggeration and non-literal commentary. She wrote, Fox persuasively argues, that given Mr. Carlson's reputation, any reasonable viewer arrive /s/ with an appropriate amount of skepticism about the statement he makes. Escochille, an appointee of President Trump's, added, whether the court frames Mr. Carlson's statements as exaggeration, non-literal commentary, or simply bloviating for his audience, the conclusion remains the same: the statements are not actionable. The headline is a little, misleading. This is the actual quote. At this stage, the fraud that we can confirm does not seem to be enough to alter the election result. We should be honest and tell you that. Of course, that could change. I think Fox is getting very uncomfortable with the monster they helped create. If conservatives become convinced that they cannot win democratically, they will not abandon conservatism. They will reject democracy. /David from Tucker is about to get a bunch of death threats. I'll believe it when they start saying it on Owen and Breitbart. The piece of Trump's base that still thinks he won is too radical even for Tucker Carlson. Murdoch sees the writing on the wall. He is about to have his biggest competitor for cornering the batshit market of American viewers, Trump TV. There was no fraud to begin with. Conservatives really are the devil of this country. The right wing will do anything for power. We should be honest. Get bent, Tux. We should be honest, but you're almost the last person who should be lecturing others about it. He's blatantly moving the goalposts. His statement assumes there is fraud, of which no entity has produced a single scrap of evidence. Tucker's narrative is intentional in delegitimizing a Democratic presidency. Well, fuck me. Bingo. Tucker Carlson says. Is not news. Recall they filed in court that no reasonable person believes the show, so why are we seeing his statements parroted here? Did hell just freeze over? I never, ever expected this from him. Wow. Fox really is turning on Trump hardcore. Tucker trying to seem reasonable for that 2024 run. Funny how there are no claims of election fraud for the House and Senate races on the same ballots. When Frankenstein realizes he created a monster. Trump literally told voters to vote twice. Where was the outrage then? I'm still hoping Trump starts his own political party and just completely naders the GOP for the indefinite future. I would be funny if after the recounts the Republicans have been calling for, Biden ended up with more votes than before. Then shut the fuck up about the fraud. There are always some dishonest people. But claims of large systematic fraud is just unsubstantiated lies. Scary part is that even with these weak statements, many far-right PPL are ready to boycott Fox News. Fox News, according to them, is going to the libs, and many areas are forming their own news outlets where they can continue to spread unfounded lies spewed by Trump, QAnon, and others. If Tucker Carlson becomes the voice of reason in this election, then 2020 is truly the end of times. It's been a great run, folks. We should be honest. By all means, Tucker, go ahead. Holy shit, when even Tucker Carlson can't stand the lie. I'm kind of feeling sorry for Trump. Can we just tell him he's still president and just lock him in a rubber room somewhere? It's never a good sign when Tucker fucking Carlson accepts reality before you do. Is this the same Tucker Carlson who had all this damning evidence against Joe Biden and Hunter Biden that was stolen by the UPS, and then now they found it and it's been over a week and he still hasn't said anything about it since? I find it very ironic that one of the most dishonest people on the Fox network is saying we should be honest. Stop humanizing Fox News. They created this entire mess. Yes, Tucker, you should be honest, but you probably won't be. I sense a schism in MAGA land. Fringe and Republican sites are lobbing Fox in with the rest of the bad media. Best thing that could happen is if Trumpy goes third party. What's that sound? Is that the sound of goalposts moving? If he's now accepted reality that even the best case scenario in courts wouldn't change the election result, maybe he can get his buddy to come out of the bunker and do the same. Nothing noteworthy or special here. Just another actor who knows who butters his bread. Let's not give this man too much credit. He's already earned tens of millions for being one of the most popular propagandists. Does he really need our envy or respect as well?